Just got back from spending 2.5 weeks in Japan. Got a few questions on how did you even plan it? What did you eat? How did you travel? What did you do? So I'm going to break it down in a couple of videos. The first is how did you plan it? I went with 2 other friends and my wife. We started by putting together a Google Sheets and then sharing it. And each one of us had a tab of things that we wanted to do. There was only 3 things I wanted to do, and that's to go to Himeji Castle and ski and then do some kayaking if possible. And then take the bullet train and see Mount Fuji. I wanted to see the sights. Everybody put the things that they wanted to do, and then I put them all onto Google Maps and then started planning. And this started a year and a half ago. And then we just started planning out where to stay. Initially, we were going to stay 3 days in each city. We're going to stay 3 days in Tokyo, 3 days in Mount Fuji, Kyoto, 3 days in Osaka, 3 days in Hiroshima, and then move to Nagano and stay 3 days there, and then come back and stay 3 days in Tokyo before we head out. That didn't seem very efficient, moving, packing, going back and forth. We ended up just staying a few days in Tokyo, moving to Osaka, staying 7 days there, and then coming back and spending a few days more in Tokyo. And that worked out very well. Highly recommend doing that. And because we were staying in Osaka, we were able to move from Osaka to Kyoto in 24 minutes via the Shinkansen, the bullet train, and it was pretty inexpensive. We also had only 3 places that we scheduled time for: the Super Mario World and Universal Studios, Nintendo Museum in Kyoto, Team Lab Planet in Tokyo. And that one was really, really neat. We also planned out the daily travel in each day where we wanted to hit things that were close by. We started packing, planning on what we're going to take, and since it was the wintertime, layers was important. We were only going to do carry-ons, 1 backpack, 1 carry-on, and that way we can pretty much just go right to the train once we land in Japan. And then we're going to take the Narita Express to Shibuya. One thing I wasn't prepared for was the 14-hour flight. The longest flight I've ever been on was 6 hours, and it caught me off guard. Like, there is definitely some claustrophobia that happens, or happened to me at least. So it's good to sleep. If anybody's been to Japan, there's a lot of stairs. There's a lot of stairs. I've never seen as many stairs or as many escalators in my lifetime. And again, this is the first time out of the country, and I really had no idea what to expect. But immediately on the 3rd day, it was apparent that public transportation might not be the best way around the city. We heard that taxis were really expensive. They're not. They are very, very inexpensive and a very efficient way to get around the city. Especially if you're walking more than about 20 minutes, taxis are easy. There's a couple apps there that they can come right to you. Since we had a group of 4, we tried to find the bigger taxis. However, we were kind of forced to be in some of the smaller ones when they're lined up at a taxi stand, because you have to go to the first one, and some of the ones are a little small. They're not American size. Hopefully this was helpful. I'll go into more detail. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. My next videos are going to be on food, medication, really digging into what we did and how we did it, and really some of the really craziest. I mean, there wasn't really anything crazy there, but just digging into some of the things that were a little strange to me, going to a whole nother country for the first time. But as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much, and hopefully you enjoyed this.